Hi YouTube. We'll get tighter in then. I'm with the wife today.
Hello.
We are.
I need to jump.
Yeah, she's not as tall as me, but then not many people
Were you
are.
just about to call me a midget?
No,
You just said she's a.
I didn't. I said she's not as tall as me.
Yeah.
But most people aren't.
No, that's true.
Well, having said that, not many people are as short as you.
Oh, and I'm like medium, aren't I?
No.
Mediumly short, I mean.
Come on, don't kid yourself.
I'm nearly 5'4".
Yeah, we're at Burrator Reservoir today.
For a change.
For a change. And it's insanely busy. You wouldn't know it up here because I know places I can go to get away from the crowds, but down around the reservoir and the actual roads, it's insane the number of people that are here today.
You don't like people.
And I hate people. I'm very antisocial. In fact, some people would go as far as to say I'm a sociopath, but I don't care. This is my heaven. Places like this, look, with all these beautiful woods and trees, and just the only sounds of other creatures I can hear is animals. Okay, so my first shot for today is this beautiful oak tree, and I'm sticking to that. I'm convinced it's an oak tree. What do you think, darling? Do you think it's an oak tree? No idea. You don't know anything about trees as well. Oh, pardon?
It looks like an oak tree by the leaves.
It does look like an oak tree, doesn't it? How can you tell by the leaves?
Well, these ones, that's definitely oak leaves, isn't it?
Oak leaves? I've no idea.
That one.
Don't know what oak leaves look like.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
Well, I think it's an oak. I'm sticking with oak tree.
Yeah,
I am sticking with oak tree.
You want to phone a friend? Oh, he's got his phone out.
I've got my phone out, look. I'm going to phone a friend. Right, yes, this oak tree that's in front of me, well, it would be in front of me, wouldn't it? I'll be taking a picture of one behind me, would I?
That's a different idea.
That'd be stupid, wouldn't it? There it is. I've photographed this tree before, last autumn, when there was all golden brown leaves all over the floor. But this time, we're in the middle of summer, so everywhere's green. There's lots of green ferns. There's even a few foxgloves laying around. So that's what I'm going to take a picture of. So I'm framing up the main trunk of the tree, and then the two boughs that cut across to the left. And then I've got the path running diagonally across the frame. And then all the lovely green ferns. So I am at, let's have a look here. So I'm at f11, ISO is 50 as always, and 1/6 of a second. Just a little tip for anybody that wonders whether or not I lock up the mirror. If you take the picture while your live view's on, your mirror's already locked up, so you don't have to go into your menu and lock the mirror up. So underexposed by one stop, and there we go. Simple as. Right, so the most important thing about woodland photography, or indeed any photography, is light. And I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, because I'm sure you've heard that from lots of photographers that are far better qualified than me. But it is true. Without good light, it doesn't matter how good your subject matter is, you're not going to get a great picture. So light is very important. Now for woodland, the one particular type of light that I would try and avoid if you can is harsh, very bright sunlight, cloudless skies, sort of midday sun or mid-afternoon sun. Very early in the morning, when the sun's just creeping over the horizon, if you can get it so that it's the sun sort of eye level when you look at it, and it's lighting up the tops of your foreground and side lighting trees, that's good. Late evening sunlight, just before it's about to set, that's okay. But the best light is soft, subdued, slightly overcast. I mean, like the sun's cutting through now because the clouds have moved. This would be no good. It looks beautiful to look at, but for a photograph it would be no good. So if I was about to take a photograph now, I'd have to wait for the cloud to cover the sun and soften the light, because clouds are the ultimate natural softbox. And then of course if you're lucky enough to get mist or a bit of frost or even rain, so you get some moisture on the trees, that all adds to the ambience and the conditions. But light is definitely the most important. Right, so I've spotted a really nice composition through all the way through the wood here, through these trees. And a little tip that I want to share with you about when you're doing woodland photography, try and look for compositions where at least some of the trees could create a kind of frame to your shot. So to give you an idea of what I mean, we just pop the live view on here, switch it over to video mode. I'm going to have to change my ISO so that we can actually see here. There we go, that should do it. Okay, so what I mean here is I've got on the left of the frame, I've got this, I think what is a silver birch there, and then I've got this tree here, and then through the frame we've got the kind of older oak trees that are more sort of twisting and forming some beautiful shapes there. So we've got two straight trees either side the frame, and then the more interesting oak trees, and then in the foreground I've got all of these moss covered rocks. What I'm going to do, I'm going to close my aperture down to f16 and let's see where's the best place to focus here. I think maybe so I'm underexposed by a whole stop. I've got my focus set, I've got my composition set, I've got the live view on, which means the mirror's locked up, 2-second timer on, 1/6 of a second, and there we go. Looking at that, I think I'm going to underexpose it a little bit more. So I'm now underexposed by 1.5 stops. Let's just take that shot. I think that looks better, definitely. There we go. Okay, so this tree was directly behind where I was actually standing when I took the previous shot, and it's actually the same tree that I photographed at the start of this video, and I thought it looked really good from this angle, so I decided to photograph it. And I also did a autumn edit of it, which you can see now, using the software that comes with Mac computers. So this tree right here has caught my eye, and I'm just kind of walking around looking at it from different directions. Sorry if I'm looking at the floor, but as you can see, it's all moss covered rocks, and we've had quite a bit of rain, so they are a bit slippy. So I'm kind of watching where I'm putting my feet. There we go, that's better. Yeah, I'm kind of walking around it to try and find what the best angle would be, but I'm starting to think that the best angle is where I first saw it from, where it first caught my eye, which is back over that way, and it was framed up by a couple of other nice trees. So I'm going to head back over there and set up and see what it looks like on the back of the camera. Now, where was I standing? I should have marked the spot, shouldn't I? Yeah, you've got to watch your footing in here. Yeah, I think maybe sort of here would be a good spot. If I can get these two trees either side to frame up the shot. Maybe just a little further back. Yeah. Yeah. That's looking good. No, actually no. Further forward. Yep, this is it. I think this is it. Right, I'm going to set up and show you what I'm looking at. Okay, let's have a look now what I've got in this frame. So on the left here I've got this tree here, and then I've got another couple of smaller trees here that are framing my main subject, which is this kind of twisty moss covered oak tree. Yeah, and then of course we've got the moss covered boulders down there in the foreground. Ain't that pretty? So for anybody that's ever missed it or that has not seen me do this before, this is how I will go about deciding my shutter speed. So if you look at the meter there on the bottom of the camera, that's where the camera is metering the shot. So we've got an 1/8 of a second there at f11 with the ISO at 50. But for me that looks a little overexposed, and as you can see there, that's a full stop underexposed. Okay, so my last shot today is going to be this beautiful, another beautiful oak tree that I found. It's just got a really, really thick trunk. So that's what I'm looking at. It's an absolutely beautiful tree. And then behind it there's another tree with some really nice twisty branches. And then we've got all these rocks around the base of it. We've got some beautiful moss all over it as well. So yeah, it's quite beautiful looking, and the light is just hitting just certain sections of it, lighting it up. But it's really softened by the cloud. So we do have a bit of shadow, but not very much. I've underexposed that shot by a whole stop. So let's just check my settings for you. So I'm at 1/5 of a second, f11 ISO 50, focus dead center of the tree, and there we go. And that is my last shot today. Right, I'm going to finish there. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the pictures. As always, leave a comment. If you like the video, give us a like, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. That really helps. I hope you find the 1 or 2 tips that I gave useful. So yeah, it's all about the light. Try and frame up your subject with other trees if you can. Obviously foreground interest is important. Try not to have too much mess and debris in your frame. So those are my few tips on woodland photography. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next video.